What a matchup!
And what a team, Mike. Metro PCS and the iPhone SE for $0 on a network that covers 99% of people in the U.S. Oh, impressive.
Play with the best. Switch to Metro PCS on an unlimited LTE plan and get a 32-gig iPhone SE for $0. Metro PCS. Coverage not available in some areas, plus sales tax. Claim based on talk and text. Not valid for active numbers currently on the T-Mobile network or active on Metro PCS in the past 90 days. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Welcome to UFO Headline News with me, Heidi Hollis, where every day I aim to bring you the latest in UFO reports and other fascinating stories from around the globe. Today is what? Monday, February 26, 2018. Wow, this is just flying by this year. And on Fridays at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, join me for my talk show, The Outlander, where I answer your emails, take your calls, and interview some intriguing guests. Trust me, you will never be bored. Just go to HeidiHollis.com for more information and IRNchat.com to chat, interact, and listen live to The Outlander Show. Blasting off with some fascinating UFO reports that I never read and I don't edit, so pardon me if I'm skipping and stopping and trying to figure out the English language as it has been depicted in these reports. UFO sighting in Long Point, Ontario. Slight UFO blast from the past has occurred July 12, 2015. 2 objects entered my sight high in the sky, flew erratically, then vanished into space. I was lying on my back at the beach on a bright, sunny, blue sky day with my girlfriend. I was staring up into the cloudless sky, and from an altitude higher than any airplane I have ever seen, 2 red objects appeared to have wings came into my sight. They circled each other, kinda chased each other like they were playing. I pointed it out to my wife. She was confused by what we were watching. I'm confused because you said girlfriend in the first sentence. I'm like, hold on. Didn't I read girlfriend and now you're saying wife? Okay, whatever. For approximately 1 minute, they flew erratically in a small area very high in the sky. Then, as quickly as they entered sight, it appeared they flew up, away so high, they disappeared into the atmosphere. I have excellent vision. It was not an airliner. I saw blue skies. I saw them appear from the atmosphere, it seemed. Then they disappeared back beyond sight, in a perfectly blue sky. They were just tiny due to altitude, unnoticeable unless you were staring up at the sky at the moment. At that time, they maneuvered like nothing I have ever seen, and no lights, no sounds. I was simply confused to what I was watching. Oh gosh, can't you guys just imagine the day that Star Trek comes to us? Like, hey guys, we've been here for a while. We don't know why your government hid us from you, but we know all of them. We know George, we know so-and-so, we know the second George, and we know this Trump fella. I mean, really, why did they do that? I mean, we've been flying over your heads all the time. I mean, you saw us, right? Because we answered your call. I mean, you asked us to turn our ship around, and we turned and tipped, and you felt us staring, and we stayed, you know? So, I mean, really? Like, really? You guys, this wasn't official? I mean, because it wasn't official, you didn't believe your own eyes? I mean, what? Oh, it's coming. It is coming. I just know it, because too many people, too many of us, millions, have seen weird lights, seen ships. We know something's out there. Why can't they just be our friends already? Let's just get over with the formalities and be like, hey, picnic my backyard, 5 minutes. Think you could be here? Yeah, sure. I'll be there. Oh, do you want to fly around my ship? Yeah, why not? Bring the ship. Bring the little one so my son can play around with that one. I mean, come on. Ugh. Anyways, moving on. UFO sighting in Brunswick, Ohio. This occurred February 15, 2018. Noticed a pinkish light that caught my eye. Moved up, down, side to side, and up and down. I was letting my dogs out just before 7 p.m. on February 15, 2018, when I noticed a pinkish light in the sky. And it was moving sharply up, down, side to side, so I started recording it on my cell phone. It didn't really move as sharply in video, but I could say definitely it was not an airplane of any kind. Okay. UFO sighting in Springfield, Missouri. This occurred January 30th, 2018. Orange orb followed by an aircraft. I was at a stoplight in Glenstone and Kearney. I was looking toward the Walmart parking lot and noticed above the Walmart an orange orb that appeared to be followed by an aircraft. Both crafts were traveling east. The plane had the flashing light common on aircraft, and I could see the outline of it. The other craft was orange and round, but didn't have clear edges. They both continued east about 1 minute, then the orange craft within 5 seconds sped up and completely disappeared. The plane continued east on the same path. I looked at the car next to me, but they didn't seem to have noticed. Go figure. The world is busy. They're probably on their phone. UFO sighting in Napa, California, February 15, 2018. Looking at a bright, quote, planet above the Big Dipper. Then it brightened and turned off like a light bulb. Looking at a bright planet above the Big Dipper, then it brightened and turned off like a light bulb. I know it was a UFO because I have seen them up close maneuver, land, and take off, sometimes going straight up to a pinpoint in a nanosecond. What's a nano? Click. That's a nanosecond. There we go. Yeah, there we go. UFO sighting in McGregor, Texas. This occurred July 18, 2017. It was late at night when I was stargazing with this girl when suddenly my eyes locked onto this slow-moving object in the sky. Initially, I thought it was a plane, but the plane pattern was too bizarre for it to be any man-piloted vehicle. Huh. Okay, they are kind of repeating their story. That was their brief introduction. It's late at night, was stargazing with this girl when suddenly my eyes locked onto the sky. Okay, they're repeating. Initially, I thought it was a plane, but the flight pattern was too bizarre for it to be a man plane. I was overcome with joy as I realized it was a UFO. I continued to observe it for quite some time, a few hours, and suddenly had this compelling feeling that I should leave. Something just didn't feel right, and I wanted to get out of there. That's the end of their report. Isn't that something? Like, we just know. We just know, like, oh, that's a cool UFO. That's not a good guy. I gotta go. No, he's coming. He sees I'm looking, and he wants to probe me or something horrible. Yeah, see? All right, this next one. Oh, boy, what a name. Let's see if I can figure this one out. UFO sighting in Picayune, Mississippi. January 31st, 2018. Sighting of UFO under super blue blood moon. Okay. I live in the USA. Picayune, Mississippi. Attached are my blue blood moon pictures showing an flying object. Did not come out very clear. However, I did see something very strange, and I tried to catch it in the picture. Then I tried to do a video, but the video would not come out because it was still too dark. As I was taking pictures, this red glowing thing was zipping around very fast, high underneath the moon to the left. It was not an airplane because this red glowing object was flying up, down, and sideways so freaking fast I couldn't catch up with it with my camera. So I just started snapping pictures real fast in hopes I would at least get one picture of it. Then it just vanished. I did catch it in a picture, but I'm disappointed that it came out blurry. I guess it was because I was trying to keep up with it by moving my camera around to get a picture. However, I just read an article from Express News UK stating NASA caught an object coming from the left of the moon, and it was believed to be a UFO. Come on, NASA told us. It was exciting to read that because it confirms that I truly saw something zipping around underneath the left side of the moon. NASA revealed. I have to look that one up. UFO sighting in Southend-on-Sea, England. Okay, Southend-on-Sea. That's the name of their town. February 15, 2018. A bright light stationary, then accelerated at high speed, leaving line, then disappeared. Standing at lounge open window. Notice very bright object in night sky. Sky just after a plane had passed. Whilst observing this object, it appeared accelerated. This is okay. It's so chopped up. This object, it suddenly accelerated west at an upwards elevation at an incredible turn of speed. It left a faint line in sky. Then this object disappeared in front of Orion's belt. I've seen comets. I've seen shooting stars. This was neither. Wah, wah, wah. Okay, next. Okay, hold on a second. UFO sighting in Birmingham, Alabama. This occurred. That's a slight UFO blast from the past. This occurred August 31st, 2009. Outside smoking a cigarette, looked up at the stars, and a few seconds later we observed a large, glowing, silent object traveling at a cruising speed? They put a question mark. I was standing out in the back of my buddy's house. I had stayed awake because I had problems sleeping in unfamiliar places. His dad was still, you as well, huh? Was still okay. We were standing outside smoking a cigarette, talking and looking at the stars. After a few seconds of looking up, we saw a large, size of a house, like two-story house, glowing, flying object. It had an aura around it, and the light coming off the back of it changed colors. It flew overhead and was absolutely quiet. We both looked at each other and immediately tried to follow it through the woods. Oh, I love it. But was gone within a minute or so. I couldn't sleep after that. I wouldn't either. We spent the rest of the night talking about what it could have been, and we both agreed that it wasn't anything from our planet. This event has stayed with me for almost 9 years. I was 13 or 14 when I saw this. What were you doing smoking? Bad, kid. Bad. I know it wasn't something that I had ever seen before. It went in a straight path. It went over a thick wooded area and was out of sight. I felt completely stuck when I saw it. I remember being speechless for a few moments. My buddy's dad looked at me and we both said, "What the bleep was that?" Wow, you're a bad kid. Smoking in front of somebody else's dad and swearing and cussing and running through the woods at night. That's bad. I'm just kidding. All right, UFO sighting. No. UFO sighting in Fountain Hills, Arizona. This occurred, not too long ago, but March 8th, 2014, spotted in photograph. Original event. Date, March 8th, 2014 at 4:40 p.m. While on vacation in the Phoenix area in March of 2014, my girlfriend and I were escorted on a sightseeing drive with friends. My girlfriend was taking random pictures of homes in the area, and I asked to see some of her photos. Ironically, I had watched a documentary on the Phoenix Lights a month or two before, after stumbling upon it on Netflix. It seemed suitable prior to my first visit to Arizona, LOL. After glancing through some of my girls' photos, I noticed a peculiar thing in one. In the picture, taken at approximately 4 p.m., are two houses with a clear blue sky in the background. Above the house, on the left, are 6 white spots in a slight V pattern in the sky. After seeing the photo, we looked around the inside of the vehicle to see if something could have caused a glare on the window and have simulated that in the pic, and found nothing. I asked my girlfriend if she had ever heard of the Phoenix Lights before, and she said she hadn't. My friend, who was familiar with the lights, not firsthand, and had friends that had seen other similar phenomena, looked at the photo and was immediately intrigued. After showing my girlfriend a photo of the Phoenix Lights sighting found on Google and comparing it, she took notice to the similarities. We have no idea what is in the picture, but it's quite obviously something. I have examined this photo many times and am in no further ahead in explaining it. I should have sent this to you sooner, but I wasn't aware of your organization and only found out from a friend while telling this story. I was hoping you could offer some insight and explanation to what's in the photo. Unfortunately, my girlfriend never noticed the objects when taking the picture, and so only took the one pic. Although this report is made after the fact, the date and approximate time of the event have been determined based on the image file date stamp. The photo was taken on a Samsung G3 cell phone with no filter. Nothing has been done to alter the image, and you are more than welcome to thoroughly inspect it. It is just as I received it and originally viewed it. I regret that our geotagging feature was disabled because we had our phone switched to airplane mode to avoid accidental roaming charges. I have no way of telling you the exact location the photo was taken other than it was the Fountain Hills, Phoenix area. I hope you could keep in touch with us and with your findings. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. I ask that, if used, the credit be given to the owner of this image. Thank you. Oh, wait, boys and girls, we're going to click on over on that one. Oh, yes, we are, because I love these incidental findings. Sound like a doctor note. Okay, they do have it listed. We're clicking. It is revealing itself. Oh, Shazam! Oh, Shazam, guys! Wow! Wow. 2, 4, 6. There are...
What a matchup!
And what a team, Mike. Metro PCS and the iPhone SE for $0 on a network that covers 99% of people in the U.S. Oh, impressive.
Play with the best. Switch to Metro PCS and an unlimited LTE plan and get a 32-gig iPhone SE for $0. Metro PCS. Coverage not available in some areas, plus sales tax. Claim based on talk and text. Not valid for active numbers currently on the T-Mobile network or active on Metro PCS in the past 90 days. See store for details and terms and conditions.
6 lights in a boomerang shape. I could see why they might think, ooh, was it a reflection? But it's not. That thing is there. Wow. Very, very spectacularly cool. You guys got to come over to UFOheadlinenews.com and click on today's episode and have a look at that picture. Very cool. Very cool, I must say. All right. Moving on. UFO sighting in Mariposa, California. This is a UFO blast from the past. This one occurred August 8th, 1996. Orange red ball. Okay, shortly after the Stump field fire in Mariposa, California, I witnessed what I can only describe as a UFO. We're on our way back to Mariposa from a trip to Fresno. Coming from Oakhurst, California, there's a semi-long bridge you cross, then head towards Mariposa. As we were coming down this road, Highway 49, we noticed a very bright area just off to our left. We started to wonder if a fire had started again where the Stump Field fire had burned through. As we got closer, just before the bridge, we could see a very bright light in the sky. I was driving, and after crossing the bridge, I decided to pull over and observe the object in the sky. I placed the vehicle in park, shut off the engine, and we watched. We had the windows down and could barely see the object. It was a very big, round, bright orange sphere that just seemed to hover in midair. We could see a trail of, quote, smoke or steam, but whatever it was white. As the craft moved closer to us, we could see perfect smoke rings each time it would move. And I recall 3 smoke rings indicating to me that it had moved closer to us 3 times. Wow, smoke rings? I remember seeing my brothers do that when they were smoking. I remember very clearly looking out a very big window or a computer screen. This screen was over 50 feet long and what seemed to be 50 feet tall. I could see where we parked, what was around the vehicle, and even inside, although it was dark inside. I remember watching the craft for what seemed to be an hour, and while it moved closer to us, it never got close. At the very end of the sighting, the craft spit out another O or smoke ring and moved forward a bit and then went straight up and was out of sight within 3 seconds. Apparently it sprung a leak. Maybe it had an oil leak. You know how they smoke. As far as we could see, it went straight up into space as it did not move, nor did it change course. We waited there for a few minutes to see if it would return or if anything else would do the same, but nothing else showed. I started the vehicle, put it in gear, and tried to turn on the lights, but the lights would not work. I was able to drive home with my brights on. We took the vehicle to the dealership to get checked, and they said the circuit board had been fried and needed to be replaced. Oh, wow. I have never seen anything like it before, nor have I seen anything similar since. At the time, my wife and her mother witnessed the whole event, and we still talk about it to this day. We don't know what we've seen, but we know we've seen something. I never reported it to anyone or any authorities because most people write you off as insane or making up stuff, but I'm hopeful that telling my story here will keep others coming forward, and hopefully we can figure out what it was we seen. That's pretty fantastic. UFO sighting in, oh boy, Youghal County, Cork. Cork? February 14th, 2018. It frightened me. Fear, total and absolute fear. Worked 20 years in merchant navy and never witnessed anything like this. Oh, wow. It was cigar-shaped object. What attracted me to it was the fact that my immediate surroundings became illuminated on a very totally dark night. The illumination was a constant on-off every 1.5 seconds with the ground lit up. Oh my God! Can you imagine seeing that? Which continued for 3 or 4 minutes or perhaps 5 minutes. Then out of fear for my life, I ran for my house. I returned 5 minutes later with the witness, but it had moved very far south by this time, and the witness saw nothing. It had moved out of sight as the light sequence continued. There was no moon or any other light whatsoever in the vicinity, as I live on a coastal seashore property. An isolated seashore property. Oh, I see why you're fearful. Guys, imagine that. Pitch black, taking in the nice evening. Bright light, big giant, and I mean those cigar-shaped ones are huge. I've seen one. Huge. And it's lighting itself up, turn it off, lighting up, turn it off. Can you imagine the reality shift you would endure after witnessing something like that? That is yeah, that was a doozy. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. You know, I wonder, now, you know how when we go to the zoo, we have a barrier that keeps us away from the animals, right? You know, just for our own protection. What if we're a zoo? What if these people or beings that are coming on these ships are allowed to only get so close and are told that if we pull up these little instruments called cameras, they will shoot lasers and might injure them? So what if they're just coming and hovering down and getting a close little peek and dancing around, and you know those little dancing lights that they always say seem to be chasing and playing with each other? Maybe those are the kid ships, you know, and they're just all taking a look and like, oh, look at the aliens down there, and we're thinking, oh my God, we're the lions, we're the tigers, we're the bears, and we're going, ah, ah, and then we run for our lives because we think they're going to shoot us. And what if that's the case? We are a zoo. They're looking at us, and they're amazed at how we are very brutal and animalistic in the way that we eat, treat each other, the entertainment. I mean, imagine that. Imagine that. Could be a reality. Okay. Moving on to a paranormal point of a story, because we do like the paranormal around here as well. Can't help myself. This story is called Children's Laughter at Midnight. This person is sharing what it is that they personally experienced. This paranormal experience happened to me a few months back. I'm 16 years old and live on the outskirts of a nice little village in the Kentish countryside of Britain. My village has quite a lot of history to it, as well as a few ghost stories. One Saturday night, I was drinking. What? Drinking down the old working man's club with a few of my friends, let alone I'm only 16 and all my other friends are a bit older. I still got served drinks, but then again, I do look about 18. Oh my goodness, yeah. Anyway, after a few hours of drinking, it was getting rather late, so I decided it was time for me to go home. I said goodbye to all my friends and headed home. In order for me to get home, I had to take a long walk down an old, creepy road that eventually reaches my house. It had always freaked me out walking down that dark, creepy road, and I'd always get that gut feeling. Somebody's watching me. But now I had to walk down it at night. It also had quite a reputation for being haunted, which didn't make things any more enjoyable. As I started to walk home, I couldn't help thinking that old story my parents told me. Apparently, back in the 1700s, a man in a horse and carriage lost control of it and skidded off the road and crashed into a nearby swampy pond and drowned there. Apparently, his ghost lurks in the darkness, patrolling around the pond he drowned in, scaring nearby locals. Creepy, I know. So, I continued walking down the dark, creepy road. While walking, I got that gut feeling again of somebody watching me. As I walked further, I got more paranoid and started to hear noises. I then heard the most creepiest noise I have ever heard in my life. It sounded like kids' laughter. Oh yeah, that's creepy. Kids laughing, and it just makes me want to hurl every time. I'm just kidding. Absolutely nobody was around, and I doubt anybody would let their kids out at this time of night. I kept on walking, but the kids' laughter got louder and closer. Okay, that starts to get creepy. The laughter then turned into voices. The sound was now directly behind me. I started to run. I was now directly next to the pond. In the pitch black of the night, not seeing where I was going, the voices then turned into nursery rhyme singing. Oh, that's disturbing. Okay, I give it to you there. It now sounded like multiple children singing, talking, and laughing. As I sprinted past the old pond, I swear I saw somebody lurking in the darkness of the bushes, staring at me with bright, piercing eyes. I then started to run faster. With the noises getting louder and more overwhelming, I could see the dimly lit house at the end of the road. As I got into sight of the other nearby houses, the noise gradually started to stop. I was still terribly frightened, so I sprinted for my house, smashed through the back door, and immediately locking it behind me. From all the noise I made, I must have woken up my dad, sleeping on his armchair by the fire. I then walked into the front room, out of breath and extremely exhausted. My dad then asked me what had happened, and I told him the whole story. He believed the whole thing. Well, you're lucky. I never told the rest of my family about what had happened. It just had been between me and my dad. I never walk down the creepy road at night anymore, just in the day. But even then, it still freaks me out. I will never forget what happened down the old road, but to this day, I still have nightmares of my paranormal experience. Well, that was a little creepy. I'll give it to you. It was a little creepy. I mean, you don't know until you've been there, people. You really don't. And, yeah. I tell people, be happy that the paranormal has not proven itself to you. Be a skeptic. Go ahead. Go ahead. Keep it to yourself with your skepticism. Don't make fun of the rest of us who are coming to terms with what it is we have experienced, okay? Well, I have to tell you guys, thank you so much for listening to UFO Headline News with me, Heidi Hollis, and be sure to check out UFOheadlinenews.com every single day and tune into my other two weekly shows, The Outlander on Fridays, and I co-host on The Kevin Cook Show every Tuesday. Both shows are at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, and see my paranormal comic strip, The Outlanders, at theoutlanderscomic.com. Direct links to everything can be found here or at HeidiHollis.com. If you've experienced anything out of the ordinary, want some level-headed advice, or if you've seen a UFO and want to share, be sure to write me at uhn@inceptionradionetwork.com. And remember always to keep an open mind so you can stay informed and inspired.
What a matchup!
And what a team, Mike. Metro PCS and the iPhone SE for $0 on a network that covers 99% of people in the U.S. Oh, impressive.
Play with the best. Switch to Metro PCS and an unlimited LTE plan and get a 32-gig iPhone SE for $0. Metro PCS. Coverage not available in some areas, plus sales tax. Claim based on talk and text. Not valid for active numbers currently on the T-Mobile network or active on Metro PCS in the past 90 days. See store for details and terms and conditions.